You picked up your phone just to check one thing. 5 minutes, that's all it's supposed to be. But somehow, it turns into 30, then an hour. And by the time you look up, you don't even remember what you came for. There was a time when attention wasn't something people competed for. You woke up, you lived your day, your focus belonged to you. But today, attention has become one of the most valuable resources in the world. Not oil, not gold. Attention. Entire industries are built around one goal: to keep you scrolling, watching. And the more time you spend, the more valuable you become. Welcome to Yond Studio, where we break down systems shaping your world. From technology to business to human behavior. Not just what is happening, but why it happens. And today we are breaking down the systems that are quietly reshaping your mind. Attention didn't start as a product. It became one. To understand how that happened, you have to look at how our media used to work. For most of history, media was very simple. You paid for content, you bought a newspaper, you subscribed to a magazine, you tuned into a broadcast. The exchange was very clear. You gave money and you received information. Your attention mattered, but it wasn't the product. Then something changed. The internet made content abundant. Information was no longer scarce. It was everywhere. And when something becomes abundant, its value drops. So the media had to evolve. So instead of selling content, it started giving content away for free. But nothing is ever truly free. If you're not paying for the product, you become part of the product. Platforms stopped selling content. They started selling access to your time, your focus, your behavior. Platforms like YouTube, Meta, and TikTok don't just deliver content. They compete for one thing: your attention. Not just briefly, but for as long as possible. In this system, success is measured by time. How long you watch, how long you scroll, and how long you stay. Because time is directly tied to value. This leads to a powerful idea: the attention economy, where human attention is treated as limited resources. You only have so many hours in a day, so much focus, so much mental energy. But here's the problem. While attention is limited, the demand for it is not. Research shows human attention is limited, but content supply is effectively infinite. And when demand exceeds supply, competition begins. Every platform, every creator, every system is competing for your attention. And the competition leads to one thing: optimization. Not for truth, but for depth, but for engagement. Over time, something changes. Content stops being the product, attention becomes the product. And the content becomes a tool used to capture it. This is not just a content economy, it's a competition for your mind. To understand the system, you need to understand the brain, because the real battle isn't happening on your screen, it's happening in your mind. Your brain is built around reward. When you do something beneficial, your brain releases dopamine. Not just for pleasure, but for anticipation, motivation, the urge to repeat behavior. Every notification, every like, every scroll creates a small reward. Over time, your brain starts associating these actions with something worth repeating. But the system doesn't reward you every time. Sometimes there's something interesting, sometimes there's nothing. That unpredictability is what keeps you engaged. It's the same principle used in many reward-based systems. At first, you choose to check your phone, but over time, it becomes automatic. You open apps without thinking, you scroll without deciding. Your brain isn't broken. It is not weak. It's responding exactly as it was designed to patterns, to rewards. In a system designed to capture attention, your brain adapts to it. So why does this system exist? Because it works. These platforms are business. and their goal is to generate revenue. On the surface, ads, engagement, data, but underneath it is a system built on attention, data, value. Everything starts with your attention. The system tracks what you watch, how long you stay, what you interact with. Every action becomes data, and that data is used to improve targeting. Advertisers don't just reach people, they reach specific people at specific moments with specific interests. The longer you stay, the more data is generated. The more data, the better the system becomes. And the better it becomes, the longer you stay. You are not just consuming the system, you are part of how it works. The system does not capture attention, it learns from it. It tracks behavior and it adapts in real time. Over time, it becomes better at predicting what keeps you engaged. And this is where things begin to shift. Focus becomes harder, distractions becomes constant. You are always stimulated, but rarely fully focused. The ability to concentrate deeply starts to decline. The system isn't broken, it is working exactly as designed. It's not trying to inform you, it's trying to keep you. So here's the real question. What happens when the most valuable resource in the world is your attention, and you're no longer fully in control of it? Because in a world competing for your focus, the ability to concentrate becomes power. And the people who control the attention shape how they think, work, and live. So if the system is designed to capture attention, what exactly can you do about it? Because at this point, it can feel like the system is everywhere. Every app, every notification, every platform. And that's true. But here is what most people miss. The system only works if you stay inside it. The first step isn't quitting technology. It's seeing it clearly. Because once you understand how system works, it stops feeling invincible. You start noticing patterns. Why you open your phone, why you keep scrolling, and why is it hard to stop? And that awareness creates a distance. Most interactions today is reactive. A notification appears, you respond. A video plays, you continue. But controls begin with a simple shift, moving from reaction to intention. Instead of asking, what's next, you start asking, why am I here? Because willpower alone is not enough. You're not competing against content. You are competing against systems designed by a team of engineers, optimized over the years, and powered by data. So instead of relying on discipline, you can change the environment. Turn off non-essential notifications. Create space without constant input. Set boundaries for when and how you engage, not as restriction, but as protection. Focus is something you either have or you don't. It's something you train. And like any other skill, it improves with practice. Short periods of uninterrupted attention become longer ones. Silence becomes less uncomfortable. And slowly, your mind starts to settle again. This isn't about rejecting technology. Technology is power, useful, necessary, even transformative. The goal isn't to disconnect from it. It is to stop being controlled by it. Because once you understand the system, you realize something important. Your attention is not just valuable to these companies, it's valuable to you. It shapes what you think, what you learn, what you become. And where you place it determines the directions of your life. Because in a world designed to take your attention, choosing where to give it becomes your greatest advantage. This isn't about rejecting technology. It's about understanding it. Because once you see the system, you start to notice it's everywhere. And once you notice it, you can choose how to respond. This is Yond Studio, where we don't just follow trends. We break down systems behind them. If this changed how you see the world, stay with us. There's always more beneath the surface.